Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pro Tips video for SIPROTEC 5. Today, I'd like to address a frequent question we receive from customers about how by using the SIPROTEC Digital Twin, we can demonstrate the various mode behavior features in a centralized solution with the Universal Protection Device 7SX85. This method allows for conducting digital tests on a single bay while guaranteeing that operations in the other bays remain unaffected. Keep watching to learn how you can seamlessly integrate this testing approach into your operational routine. In this example, we showcase a centralized protection system for 3 bays. For example, Bay 1 in the universal relay is in on mode, as well as the merging unit associated with this bay. Therefore, the goose messaging between both devices is received and processed correctly. Bay 2 is in test mode, both in the universal relay and the merging unit. Since both are in test mode, the information via goose is processed as valid. Bay 3 is in test mode, however, the associated merging unit is in on mode. Therefore, the goose messages published by Bay 3 of the 7SX85 relay to the associated merging unit are processed as invalid. Another aspect to consider during simulations is the types of mode behavior provided by the IEC 61850 standard, which include on, blocked, test blocked, and OFF modes, along with their corresponding values. For example, the on mode corresponds to the value 1, and the test mode corresponds to the value 3, among others. Now, let's verify different scenarios using SIPROTEC Digital Twin. In this video, we're showcasing a distributed CPC solution that includes 3 bays. The configuration comprises 3 merging units, 6 MU85, and a single SIPROTEC 5 universal device, 7SX85. To start, it's essential to ensure that the logical node for mode behavior is enabled on both the merging units and the 7SX85. Once verified, we will proceed to examine the IEC 61850 structure to determine if the LLN0 mode is controllable. Within the configuration, the merging units and the 7SX85 exchange multiple signals via GOOS, Generic Object-Oriented Substation Event, and SMV, Sampled Measured Values. These signals can be verified and managed using the IEC 61850 System Configurator. Export the SIM file for all the involved devices, in this example, that includes the 3 bays and 1 CPC. Import the simulation file into SIPROTEC Digital Twin. In the routing matrix, configure the inputs and outputs to establish communication between the merging units and the primary equipment simulator. This involves setting up positions and configuring close and trip commands. Once the configuration is complete, initiate the simulation process. During the simulation, the centralized protection will display the mode behavior for each bay, as well as for each merging unit. Observe the LAN status for the mode behavior of Bay 3. Additionally, note the LAN status for the mode behavior of the merging unit indicated by value 1. Connected via VPN and Digital Twin, open the IEC browser and enter the IP address of the devices for which you want to change the mode behavior, for instance, to test mode. Ensure that the Write Enable option is activated, as it is necessary to adjust the mode behavior via commands. In the first scenario, Bay 3 is in the on state, as is the corresponding merging unit, and the goose communication between them is valid. This is demonstrated by the positions of the primary equipment received by the CPC. Proceed to open the command table. Switch to state 3, which indicates test. At this juncture, for example, the goose messages sent by the MU to the CPC are considered invalid as they contain the test flag. In this second scenario, the merging unit remains in test mode, while the bay is in the on state, therefore, the goose communication is not valid. Now, we switch Bay 3 to test mode using the IEC browser. Since both the bay and the merging unit are in test mode, the goose communication is now considered valid. In this third scenario, both the bay and the merging unit are in on mode. We proceed to execute an open breaker command from the CPC, which the merging unit successfully executes. We then change the state of Bay 3 to test mode and send a command to the merging unit. In this case, the merging unit processes the goose as invalid, and therefore, the command is not executed. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more about this topic, please scan the QR code and download application notes 101 and 102 for more details. If you are interested in more pro tips, you can also scan the QR code and register for additional content.